station. This is WCAA-TV. How do you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Welcome aboard ISS, and we're ready for some questions.
First of all, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's so good to see you guys. Yeah, I guess my first
it's great
question
to be with you.
For Mike. For Mike, tell me a little bit about what is the best thing for you about being there, and also the biggest adjustment in being in space.
Wow, so that's the best thing about being up here, is actually getting to do what you've been trained to do. So we actually spend quite a bit of time in training before you get the opportunity to fly into space. And so that's actually 2.5 years long once you've been assigned before you fly. And finally getting to execute that mission is absolutely fantastic. And of course, the other part of it is being up here with your crewmates. There's just great people to work with up here, great people on the ground that are supporting you. What's the hardest thing to get used to up here? You keep pinching yourself. It's hard to believe that you're actually here. It's a dream that many of us had, and sometimes it's just hard to believe that it's actually happening.
Okay, Mike, I know you guys are really far from home. Is that hard? And what can you do to kind of stay connected with your family?
Yeah, actually, they do a fantastic job of keeping us connected with our families. We have what we call IP phone up here, so we're actually able to just make phone calls really any time that the comm is there, and for the most part, it's there all the time. So if we have a free moment, we usually have an opportunity to call somebody, family, friends, whoever that may be. And then in addition, with our families, we get once a week, we have a video conference, and that's always nice on the weekends to be able to see their faces.
Okay. Rick, I know you've been in space before. Does it ever get old? Is it different this time, or how is it for you now that you're back?
Well, of course, it never gets old. This is my 4th time to the International Space Station, but my first 3 missions were only 2 weeks long. So kind of like Mike said, I keep pinching myself thinking, wow, I'm going to be here for 6 months. And I'm still just getting settled in, so I look forward to a great mission and doing some great science and research.
Okay. Mike, I know your Twitter handle is Alumni, so I feel like you still kind of have that connection to the U of I. Can you talk a little bit about that and how how what you did here in Champaign kind of helped you get to where you are?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly an Alumni at heart, and I certainly wouldn't be here without the University of Illinois and my time spent in Champaign. And that goes across the board, from the engineering department to the fraternity that I was a member of, Pi Kappa Alpha, to being a member of ROTC, and of course being able to play football. All of those contributed to making me, or giving me the opportunity to be here today.
Okay. What do you remember most about being here, or what do you miss about, Champaign, or what are your fondest memories, I guess?
Well, there's a lot of fond memories, and of course I have to say the best memory that I took with me was my wife. She was also from the University of Illinois, it's a whole package, and there's a lot of fond memories, and it's hard to pick out just one. And certainly school was a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun. Playing football was an incredible opportunity, but also all the great friends that I had, both in school, on the football team, in the fraternity, and in ROTC. Those are all absolutely fantastic and great memories.
Okay. Rick, talk to me a little bit about what it's like kind of as you're adjusting to being on the space station now. You've just been there a few days now.
Yeah, when you first arrive, it takes a few days for your body to adjust. The fluid shifts to your head, your upper body, because of the lack of gravity. It just takes time for you to get used to the weightless environment. Probably one of the biggest adjustments is just finding everything you need to function on a daily basis. You have to find your clothes, your food, your toothbrush, and just get settled in, how to log on to the computers and things like that. So Houston and the other mission control centers have given us extra time in the day just to get settled in, just to get used to living up here and getting all our things organized. But, we're ready to start working. I'm up here with Koichi Wakata also, and we're ready to start working, and we've already started doing some experiments and things like that. So it takes a few days, but not very long to get settled in.
Okay, so how was the experience with the Olympic torch for either of you? Bringing that on board and seeing that kind of go on outside and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, a lot of times you hear people say they dream of being an astronaut, and of course one of my dreams was to be in the Olympics, and so I didn't make that dream, but getting to hold on to the torch for even just a short moment was a great experience, a memorable one that I'll certainly never forget.
Okay. Mike, can you talk to me a little bit about Train Like an Astronaut and some of the things that you've been involved in up there like that?
Yeah, you bet. It all really started, athletics and fitness has been very important in my life, going all the way back to when I was a little kid. And I just thought this would be a great opportunity to emphasize how important that is in your life. Certainly it is for us up here in space, because in the microgravity environment, our muscles get weaker and our bones get weaker, and we need to try and counteract that. And one way we do that is with exercise, both weightlifting and riding bikes and running. But it's also important for people on the ground. And so I just thought that this was an opportunity to not only get people excited about fitness, but also give them an opportunity to get excited about space.
That's cool. And I noticed you guys, some of you have been tweeting and stuff like that. How has that experience been like? Obviously those pictures are just incredible.
Yeah, it's neat to be able to share just a little bit of what we're experiencing up here, and the views are absolutely stunning. It's one of those things that you never quite get used to, is looking down on the Earth and all its glory from up here. And so if you can just share a little bit of that with people around the world, that's a great experience. It's one that's a lot of fun.
That's great. Mike, I've seen a few of your interviews that you've done since being up there, and I don't know if this is just your personality, but you are always just smiling. You must just love doing what you're doing right now.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to smile up here, and it's fun to talk about this too, because it is such a neat experience, and it's something that, boy, you wish you could just share with everybody, and everybody had the opportunity to experience this, because it is amazing being able to float around up here, being able to do all the exciting science that's going on, to live here. Every moment of it is fun, is exciting, and it's hard not to smile.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great talking to you, and hello to all of Champaign.
Thank you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.